Hello, and welcome to the Mindset Transformation webinar. I'm Victoria Gallagher. I'm the creator of several of the most popular hypnotherapy and personal development sites in the world, namely HipTalk.com, where I have written and recorded over 500 self-hypnosis audio recordings and counting, and Personal Growth Club, which is a membership site where you get access to 60 video training modules to guide you in your personal growth. I've been studying metaphysical and personal growth concepts since 1986. I've been a master hypnotist since 1999, over 17 years as of this recording. So over the next several modules, you're going to learn all about how your brain really works on a deep level so that you truly understand why self-hypnosis is one of the most useful tools to help you to make whatever changes in your life that you would like to make. No matter what it is that you want to achieve in your life, whatever makes you happy, or however you hope things are going to turn out, it all starts with your mind. So let's go through a little bit about what you're going to learn in this whole program. So you're going to learn how your brain works, and you're going to learn how this impacts your experience and your capabilities in your life. You're going to learn how you can take control over the workings of your brain to alter your emotional state and more. You're going to learn how controlling your own mind can help you to get into the best shape of your life. You're going to learn how to be happier and more content. You're going to learn how to be able to manipulate others by understanding the workings of their mind. And when I say manipulate, I don't mean that in a bad way. Sometimes it's good to, it's useful to be able to help other people to understand your point of view a little bit better. So that's really what we mean by manipulation. How to increase your confidence using law of attraction to get whatever you want in your life. And next, how to overcome your fears and any other obstacles that you might be facing. How to increase your energy levels and never have a lazy evening again unless you want to. How to accomplish incredible focus and be able to tap into these all-important flow states. How you can be engaging, charismatic, and attractive, and so much more. And I'd like to start off with this quote. I'm sure many of you have already heard this before, by Napoleon Hill. He was the author of Think and Grow Rich and many other very important books on mindset. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So think about that. If you can conceive of something and you can get yourself to believe it, then you can achieve it. So that's what this program is all about, helping you to be able to do. So let's just start off here with a little introduction on what this is all about. So, as it says here, everything starts in your mind. That's to say, your mind and your mindset more specifically, is responsible for how successful you are in any given career or pursuit, how others see you, your health, your physical strength, and even how happy you are with what you've accomplished. Any change that you want to create in your life starts with a decision to make that change. That alone is enough to mean that all change necessarily must come from within to begin with. It's then your conviction about that change that ensures that you are able to accomplish it. Your planning and your determination. And finally, it's your perception of that change that determines whether or not you are content with that. If you take a look at any of the most successful people in the world, one thing that almost always that they have in common is an absolutely unwavering commitment and determination to what they want to achieve. Arnold Schwarzenegger, for instance, he was so determined to become a champion bodybuilder that he would even break into the gym on days when it was closed in order to train. Once he even snuck out of the army barracks during his time there in order to attend a competition. So people who are truly committed to what they want to achieve will be more happy to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning in order to work out, to work on their project, to research, to learn, or to train. They never ever get tired and they never give up. The same commitment and passion is what helps you to focus on any work that you might see as boring, to finish it up early, or to see the breakthroughs that you otherwise might have missed. And simply having the conviction and the belief that you can and you will succeed is often enough to draw people to you and to increase your chances of success. When you are truly driven and when you have complete faith in yourself and you exude passion and confidence, which inspires others and convinces them to take risks on you, this is called law of attraction. And in a nutshell, it means that for others to believe in you, you first need to believe in yourself. But perhaps you don't need any of those things. Perhaps you already have everything you already need and you're completely happy. But the problem is simply in acknowledging that fact and being content with it. Perhaps it's just the being on the treadmill that keeps you in this perpetual state of always being dissatisfied that prevents you from living life to the fullest and making the most of your opportunities, experiences, and your relationships. So we're about to change all of that. We're about to teach you the skills you need to really take control of your own mind and therefore take control of your body and even your life situation. So once again, everything starts with your mind or your mindset. Change starts with your decision to change. And you need to have the conviction and the belief in order to increase your chances of success. And here's another quote from Jackie Chan. Don't let the situation change you. You change the situation. So here we go on to Module 1. And this module is all about understanding your brain. We're going to go over some basic psychology here, okay? So what most of us aren't aware of is just how much of a slave we are to our biology, and especially when it comes to neuroscience. we have this illusion of self-control. That's to say that we feel like we are the ones choosing how we feel. If we're angry, it's because of some injustice that was done to us, and we thought about that situation. We decided that that anger is the correct response. And if you're happy, well, it's because you're content with the world around you. We then take this information and we decide what we want to do next and how we're going to perform at that activity. But the reality is that we are not in charge of our brains. Rather, our brains are in charge of us, and they're controlling our bodies and our situations. Unless we understand the inner workings of our brain and we're able to take conscious control over the processes that dictate our moods, our motivations, and more, then we are destined to remain at the whim of certain chemicals and be completely oblivious to that fact. So who are you? Okay, well, let's go deep right off the bat. Who are you? What makes you you? The answer is your brain to a large extent. And your brain, in turn, is made up of billions of neurons. These small cells that have little extensions reaching out into all different corners of your skull. These neurons can be created, destroyed, or changed based on our experiences, and they represent all kinds of things, including memories, sights, smells, thoughts, and commands to move our body. When an electrical impulse moves through a neuron, this means it's firing, and thus we experience whatever correlates to that firing. If you open up somebody's skull and use an electrode to stimulate individual neurons, then that's going to make somebody see either a point of red light. One might make their arm move. Another one might make them remember their mother. So these neurons are connected to certain different experiences. And these neurons are all interconnected. And so the more often two neurons fire together at the same time, the more connected they become. So when one neuron fires, it's likely that others around it will fire depending on the strength of the firing, called action potential. Other activity in the area and the strength of the connection. Some clusters of neurons form the major brain structures, the motor cortex, the hippocampus, which are responsible for particular behaviors. Other neurons reach from one end of the brain all the way to the other. So already you can see that your brain is not always under your control. For example, if you see something specific, if you notice something, then this is going to cause certain neurons to fire based on your memories and understanding of that object. But it might also cause surrounding neurons to fire, depending on the associations you formed during your lifetime. And when certain neurons fire, they cause particular emotions. That's because neurons communicate across synapses, small gaps between the end of one neuron, the axon, which is like a tail, and the dendrites, like the arms of another. At the end of each axon is the synaptic knob, which is filled with chemicals called neurotransmitters. These are held inside neurovesicles. When the synapse fires, it causes these neurotransmitters to be released, and then that alters the behavior of the transmission and the surrounding cells. Some neurotransmitters are excitatory and make other neurons more likely to fire. Others are inhibitory and make them less likely to fire and more suppressed. Others have more complex roles. For example, some will make you more likely to remember something. Others will make you feel happy or sad. This is what causes you to have feelings about certain experiences. So neurotransmitters are linked closely to your hormones as well. Some hormones act like neurotransmitters. Essentially, hormones are longer lasting and generally produced in the body, while neurotransmitters have shorter lasting effects and are produced in the brain. Even hormones produced in the body, though, are largely triggered by the pituitary gland, which is located in the brain. See a lion, for instance, and your brain will take notice, owing to the associations you form with that image. Relevant neurons will fire, and because those neurons are coated with danger, they will release a number of neurotransmitters like dopamine and cortisol to increase activity and say something important is happening. This increased activity causes more of the brain to light up, and areas around the hypothalamus will then begin to trigger activity in the pituitary gland, producing a certain hormone effect. The adrenal gland will also be triggered at that point, releasing the hormone epinephrine, which is essentially a form of adrenaline. And this is what then causes this is what causes changes in the sympathetic nervous system. So this triggers physiological changes, including the acceleration of the heart and lungs, the thinning of the blood vessels, dilation of the blood vessels leading to your muscles, dilation of the pupils, sense of feeling of anxiety, tunnel vision, thickening of the blood to encourage clotting after injury, pain reduction, contraction of the muscles, shaking, suppression of digestion and immune function. Essentially, the body is now directing all the blood, all the oxygen, all the nutrients, and all the resources to the muscles and the brain in order to aid in combat, escape, or other physical activity. And this is akin to the fight or flight response. All of this is involuntary, and it's all controlled by automatic responses throughout your body. And it completely changes the way you now think and the way your body operates. It changes the way people see you, and it drastically affects the way you perceive everything that's happening around you subsequently. But it's not just during times of high stress that you see these uncontrolled changes throughout your body. There are many other complex interactions of chemicals and hormones going on inside your body all the time. So this concludes Module 1 on understanding your brain. Tomorrow's module is going to be on the power of neurotransmitters. We just talked a little bit about how your brain works and how it emits these neurotransmitters. And in the next module, we're going to talk about what these neurotransmitters are and what they do, the ones that can make you feel bad, the ones that can make you feel happy. And so for now, we're going to conclude here. This is Victoria Gallagher from hiptalk.com. Go to my website, sign up for my free self-hypnosis video training course. It's going to teach you all about how to work with the power of your mind to make changes happen in your life. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye now.